Well, it is all over for the grifters of Oz. So long, farewell, Meghan, or just call me Meg, as she apparently likes to go by, and her spare handbag, Harry, have finally left Australia after a whirlwind circus.
It's absolutely empty, the background, devoid of people, and they have these shots that is the back of this guy for several seconds. Why? Because they have nothing.
I spent all my life investing in women. Can I finally invest in me?
Oh, you bitch! Oh, God!
Is that not the worst thing she has ever said?
Oh, God! She must not ever read the paper or go online.
Video comparison between 2018 and 2026. And here you can see the big difference between the two. You have actual crowds, you had actual expectation, people. There was a lot of energy back then that is undeniable compared to what is this?
Charlotte Griffiths, Miss G-string, Prince Harry's little bit on the side, all of a sudden is starting to drop truth bombs. Do you think it is because we've now all read the messages and we do have the proof?
But even so, it's Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. How could Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, drive this small a crowd?
Harry's face is like, wait, hang on, where? Where is everyone gone? Why am I not loved? Meghan probably thought the same. This has got to be the scam of the century. Attendees fooled into paying big bucks for a weekend with Meghan. I'd be calling for a refund.
That's why we're gonna have the restraining order. We don't want you and your constant dramas and your constant messy revenge moves anywhere near our British royal family.
Yeah, you see nobody in there. Nobody's there for the oracles. There are a few really cringe moments.
Is Markle's buying into this one-off where they immediately made anything she wore anywhere available to purchase as soon as she appeared. She's invested in it, and she's posting all her outfits.
Grifting is one thing, but carrying out a faux royal visit to a children's hospital while flogging your outfits online appears to have crossed a line.
47 people, say it out loud, 47. Not 4,000, not 400. 47 human beings in the entire country of Australia decided that, yes, $3,000 was a fair price to spend a weekend with the Duchess of Sussex. And even that number is probably being generous.
A little bit of footage from her best life retreat. Grog suggests there are about 60 people in this clip. Certainly not near 300. Looks like the event was quite a bust. No wonder Meghan didn't want to take a round. Yeah, I guess she saw the crowd. And it was 2 minutes in, and she already wanted to leave. These are some shots of the crowds having, a good time. Meghan had already left, but that's it. That was... How many people are in there?
Because when the photos leaked, and they always leak, the tables at the back of the venue hadn't even been touched. The glasses were still upside down, the napkins still folded, like a restaurant that opened and nobody came. Some tables had only 3 people at them, and some had 4. This was a massive, massive fail. This was supposed to be the comeback tour, the triumphant return. Harry and Meghan back on the world stage, reminding everyone why they matter. Instead, Australia gave them something far more devastating than protest signs or angry crowds. Australia gave them silence. Let's go back to where this whole thing unraveled most spectacularly, Her Best Life retreat. And yes, that's genuinely what it was called. Her Best Life, held at the Intercontinental Bondi Beach in Sydney. 5 stars, ocean views, the whole thing.
Some tables have only 3 people at them and some have 4. This was a massive, massive fail.
Tickets started at $2,699. The premium package pushed past $3,200. And what was promised? An intimate, immersive, transformational weekend with Meghan, Duchess of Sussex.
They do that just to act like they're important, like they're the president or something. They're nobody!
Well, I mean, the good thing is the security line wouldn't have taken long because it's probably like
47 people, yeah.
To be inspired, to go home a different woman. $3,000. Now, what did those women actually get? Meghan arrived at 5 in the afternoon. She sat down for a Q&A on stage, and 2 hours later, she was in the back of a Range Rover heading to a rugby match with Harry.
Their problem. They have a huge problem that they are basically not drawing any crowds. They are not pulling any people for their events. They are overpriced in their events.
2 hours. She stayed 2 hours at a weekend retreat that people paid $3,000 to attend.
Meghan Markle spends 2 hours with these women. Oh, there's the Moe ready to go. 2 hours. And bear in mind they paid 3,200 Australian dollars for a chance to spend time with her. 2 hours.
And during those 2 hours, no photographs were allowed, no filming was permitted, and security went through bags at the door like it was an airport.
Megan Con, or what were they calling it? Meg Stock, where people had to go.
The Ultimate Girls Weekend.
But she was there for, what, 2 hours, I think?
Not even. She was late, by the way.
Of course.
Lots of security. Security at table 1 and table 8 were pretty much security.
The only way to even get a group photo with Meghan was to pay an additional $500 on top of the $3,000 you'd already spent.
Because Prince Harry and Meghan are said to have made a whopping $10 million from this trip, would you believe? According to expert Ted Jenkin, this is extraordinary, Meghan and Harry could make more money from audience, aggregation, premium access, brand leverage. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex could earn $2 million from speaking engagements and appearances, $3.5 million from sponsorships and brand deals, and $4.5 million from media and content value.
Now, I want you to just sit with that for a moment. You've paid $3,000. You've flown to Sydney. You've checked into this hotel. You've dressed up. You're excited. And the woman you came to see walks in, talks for 90 minutes about how hard her life has been, asks out loud to your face, "I've spent my whole life investing in women. Can I finally invest in me?" After you just handed over $3,000, and then she's gone. Gone before the main course. She literally left to go watch rugby.
And then Markle spoke for 1 hour, answering Gemma's questions. And it was all, I'm a victim, poor me, oh my God, as I'm taking $3,000 from each of you, I'm a victim, the most trolled person. Harry gave the same speech, basically. I'm a victim, life's so hard.
Now, the organizers came out afterward and said, "Oh, this was always the plan. Meghan was only ever confirmed for the Q&A portion. She had a wonderful time." Right. Okay. Sure. Tell that to the women sitting at the untouched tables in the back. Tell that to the people who've been asking for refunds. Tell that to the 47 paying customers who showed up out of the 300 seats that were available. Only 80 tickets sold in total, and most of those went to journalists. The crowd went mild. That was an actual Australian newspaper headline. The crowd went mild.
And then at the event, Meghan told the women, quote, "I've spent all of my life investing in women. Can I finally invest in me?" What investments is she talking about? The Netflix series, because that failed. Was it a polo documentary? I think it was. There was a Girl Scouts one, I think, too. Then there was that Christmas special and the podcast, all of which have been failed ventures. I mean, everything that these two have touched have been a disaster.
I didn't write that. A professional journalist wrote that, and I think it's the most perfectly crafted sentence of 2026 so F.
No crowds for them at the Sydney Opera House. And if you look closely, they clearly expected crowds because you could see there the barricades were up. There were like fences up, waiting in anticipation, and there was
but here's
nobody.
The thing. The retreat wasn't even the most embarrassing part of the trip because, at least inside a hotel, you can hide the empty seats. You can turn the cameras away from the back tables. You can work the angles. On the streets of Sydney, there's nowhere to hide.
The headline, I don't know which paper it was, one of the big Australia papers' headline was, "And the crowd went mild." The Sydney paper had a headline about the gruesome twosome turn Australia into their own ATM.
Yeah.
Harry and Meghan arrived in Australia expecting what exactly? A repeat of 2018 when genuine crowds packed the pavements.
Are the worst takes. There's the worst one, the worst offenders. You see the barriers, you see all the empty space, you see the 30 or 40 people there in the background, that's it. And you see Harry and Meghan walk in, and who is around them? There's just nobody.
When people were genuinely excited to see them, when the enthusiasm was real, what they got instead was crowd control barriers. Beautiful, brand new, perfectly erected crowd control barriers stretching down the street on both sides, empty.
And it's a far cry from the tens of thousands who lined up and camped out, as you can see there, 8 years ago when they last came. I mean, look at the crowds then, the signs, the Aussie flags. They loved them. They love them. Oh, and that was the same trip, by the way, that they called the catalyst for leaving the royal family. Well, look at that. Compare the pair. Oh, and that was also the same trip, by the way, where Meghan reportedly said, oh, gee, I can't believe I'm not being paid for this. Seriously.
Someone ordered those barriers. Someone genuinely sat in a planning meeting and said, yes, we're going to need crowd control here. And then 50 people wandered past, most of them on their way somewhere else entirely. The camera crew worked overtime, trying to make it look like something it wasn't. Tight shots, low angles.
Yeah, they had these barriers, like they were expecting, I don't know, hundreds of people to flood the streets of Sydney and be excited about, oh, you know, there's going to be the sausages in there. But no, nothing of the sort.
The same man filmed from behind for what felt like an eternity. Because if you keep the camera on one man's back, you don't have to show the 100 meters of empty pavement behind him. But people aren't stupid. They never were. They paused the video.
No, this is terrible optics. And, I mean, Meghan should be really pissed off.
They screenshotted it. They shared it. And within hours, the whole world had seen what Australia actually thought of this visit. The Opera House crowd, the one being held up as proof that people showed up. Parents queuing to take their kids to free school holiday events. Not one of them there for Harry and Meghan. They were there for the puppet show. And honestly, at this point, who could blame them?
Empty pavement behind him. But people aren't stupid. They never were. They paused the video.
Then you have this extreme, framed camera angles of how many people we're talking about here. Like 40 people as well. And they're really trying to make this seem in some shots that, people were caring about them when they actually didn't.
Here, because the next part of this isn't funny. It's not snarky. It genuinely upset people, parents, nurses, Australians who watched it unfold in real time and couldn't believe what they were seeing. The Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne. The visit was framed as a touching tribute to Princess Diana's legacy of connecting with sick children. So, these phonies could go up and feign like they care so much about these kids. What?
Perfect blueprint to completely fade into obscurity, because this is what our eyes are seeing. You cannot make this up. This is not AI. This is the harsh reality.
And look, one 12-year-old girl named Novi said Harry told her to keep being brave and that it cheered her up. That's a lovely moment, genuinely. But then you find out that children with cancer, children on chemotherapy, children with no functioning immune systems were reportedly taken out of their hospital beds and wheeled into the foyer to be lined up for the visit unmasked.
So these phonies could go up and feign like they care so much about these kids. What?
Well, she's done
BS?
that. She's done that multiple times. I mean, the first big time was Uvalde, right? When all those kids were killed down in Texas, and she showed up with a camera crew to, I guess, stare at.
To give away donuts or something. It was like, but they film it, of course. If they didn't film it, it doesn't count, and they wouldn't do it.
Surrounded by people who just flew internationally and spent days shaking hands across the country. Doctors will tell you that for a child undergoing chemotherapy, a simple infection isn't just uncomfortable. It can be fatal. These aren't children with a bad cold. These are children fighting for their lives. And somebody decided it would be a good idea to wheel them out into a crowded foyer for a photo opportunity.
Except when you go to Children's Hospital,
and you're talking to props.
Yeah, you're using these children with cancer who've lost their hair as props so you can sell your latest outfit. That's disgusting. Mm-hmm. I'm disgusted with the hospital.
And I really need you to hear this. Within minutes of leaving that hospital, the outfit Meghan was wearing went live for purchase on her fashion website.
Just the way the hospital lined them up in the atrium, because remember, let's make this quick.
Yeah.
She had to be in there quick. So probably her people were pushing them no, they can't go from room to room to room. That takes too long. Get these fucking sick kids and get them together in the atrium so they don't have to walk in and they can walk in and walk out. And get the sickest fucking kids you've got in here. And I want some bald kids. If not, shave their heads.
Sick children shopping link. That's the sequence of events. One commentator said it best. If they didn't film it, it doesn't count. And if they did film it, make sure the checkout button is ready. The outrage in Australia was real. Formal complaints were filed with the hospital. Investigations were called for because some things, some moments cut through the noise and make people genuinely ask, who are these people?
And Meghan was on this fake tour as well, wearing designer clothes, which she put on a platform. It's an AI platform, which she's an investor in, so that people can buy what she was wearing. And she wore this $1,200 dress. This was to a visit at a hospital in Melbourne. And then she later wore that same dress to a homelessness shelter for women and popped it up on her platform, $1,200 dress. And no doubt getting kickbacks from that. She's literally profiting off events which should have been low-key engagements for her to go out and do some charity work.
Then there was Bondi Beach. Harry and Meghan went to meet survivors and first responders from the December 2025 terror attack. An anti-Semitic attack during a Hanukkah celebration that killed 15 people and injured 40. A community still raw with grief. And look, turning up to acknowledge a tragedy isn't wrong. Did you see that?
She wore like $50,000 worth of jewelry at this homeless shelter for women.
Where can I buy it?
I can show you on one off. No, this is psychotic. I mean, this is crazy. I can't believe this is the schemingest, weaseliest move I've ever seen her make.
But when the outfit you're wearing at the Massacre Memorial site goes live for purchase on your fashion website the moment you leave, people notice. They notice and they don't forget.
Did you see that? She did it again this week, which she they had that Bondi terror attack. The anti-Semitic.
She went to Bondi Beach. They put that outfit up. This is where 15 people were murdered on Hanukkah.
I mean, you don't want the look.
You
don't want the look of somebody honoring.
I know.
What is that?
Did anyone order a hero?
But the moment that broke the internet wasn't the outfit. It was the woman on the sand. As Harry, Meghan, and their considerable entourage made their way along Bondi Beach, a beach that was, by the way, largely empty. There was a woman lying on the sand, sunbathing, minding her own business, exercising her God-given right to lie on a public beach in peace. Did the entourage walk around her? There was empty beach in every direction, hundreds of meters of it. No, they walked straight over her, around her feet, past her head, like she was a speed bump.
I can't believe she did that. And I can't believe they gathered first responders and survivors for Meghan Markle and Harry to go there and sell her outfits. That is so gross.
Yeah.
What is wrong? First of all, what's wrong with her?
And this woman, this absolute legend, didn't move a single muscle, didn't look up, didn't acknowledge them, didn't give them even the dignity of a glance. She became the unintentional symbol of the entire tour because she did what Australia did all week. She simply didn't bother. And this lady couldn't.
Have a look at how unbothered Aussies are by these two. Oh, no one's moving. Look. Nothing. I mean, no one is moving. That woman on the sand, please somebody find her and give her a medal. That is quintessentially Aussie. We love the sunshine. We love the beach. We ain't moving for nobody, especially these two non-royals. And, you know, they're here to make money.
And then there was the little girl with the drawing. This is the clip that got millions of views in 24 hours. And watch it once, and you completely understand why.
And this lady couldn't give a single F about Meghan and Harry. 0 F's given. Not one F given. No, that was brutal. All of this.
Meghan is on the beach. She's doing what Meghan does, working the space, being seen, making sure the moment is captured. There's a little girl nearby drawing in her sketchbook. And Meghan leans in. The girl looks up and then slowly, quietly, with absolute certainty, she pulls her sketchbook away, closes it, holds it to her chest out of reach. No drama, no crying, no scene.
Meghan was trying to do the Catherine shot. What is the Catherine shot? As you know, Catherine with children. The children, you know that they gravitate towards Catherine. And Meghan wants to do the same.
Just a small Australian child making a very clear personal decision. No, not for you. This is mine. The comments underneath that video told the whole story. Children know animals and children. And they always know that little girl did what the whole country was thinking. And look, maybe the girl was just protective of her drawing. Maybe it means nothing. But the fact that millions of people watched that clip and felt something tells you everything about where Harry and Meghan stand right now. When a child pulling away a sketchbook feels like a cultural moment, you've got a serious problem.
The girl put the book away from Meghan. No, you're not gonna touch my book. You're not gonna touch my drawings. Get away, you witch. Yeah, I'm not saying that the girl said that, of course. I'm just making things up.
Let me give you one number, just one, and I want you to hold it next to everything you've just heard. That same weekend, same country, same general time frame, Pamela Anderson held a public event in Australia. 2,000 people showed up. Tickets were $85. Pamela Anderson, $85 tickets, 2,000 people. Meghan Markle, $3,000 tickets, 47 people. Pamela Anderson outdrew the Duchess of Sussex by roughly 40-1 at less than 3% of the price. I genuinely don't have a follow-up to that. I'll just let it breathe.
Meghan, you're not made for this. I'm telling you, not as a friend. You know that I'm not your friend, but I'm telling you, as an advisor, as PR, do not get your videos around children. This is going to happen. Maybe the girl was so sweet, but at the same time, she didn't like the bad juju of the Duchess of Sussex.
Here's what this trip actually revealed, and it's more important than the empty seats and the leaked photos and the woman on the beach. Harry and Meghan have been operating under a fundamental misunderstanding for 6 years now. They believe that the interest people have in them is the same as affection. That attention equals love, that controversy equals relevance. It doesn't. People watch the Oprah interview the way people slow down past a car crash. Not because they care, because they can't quite look away.
For 10 years, I have been bullied and attacked, and I was the most trolled person in the entire world, man or woman. I'm still here.
She claimed that she was the most trolled person in the world, says the woman who's made a career out of trolling the royal family, who reportedly claimed the monarchy was racist and who allegedly bullied her own staff. And let's not forget Harry's also being sued for defamation by the charity he co-founded following allegations of bullying there too. Her and Harry are the ultimate victims. They will screw anyone over to make money.
But that kind of attention has a shelf life. And in Australia this week, it expired. They left the royal family because they wanted freedom and privacy. Then they erected crowd control barriers on empty streets. They said they wanted a normal life. Then they charged $3,000 for 90 minutes and left before dessert.
Us. This guy has been handed everything and more in his life. He has lived a very, very privileged life with no money issues. And yet he talks about it like he's lived the hardest life of anyone. And let's not forget, Prince William lost his mother too, and he hasn't gone around and demanded sympathy left, right and centre.
They said they cared about mental health and vulnerable people. Then they sold outfits at a massacre site and wheeled immunocompromised children into a foyer for photos. At some point, the gap between what you say and what you do becomes impossible to ignore. And Australia ignored nothing. She's so clear.
Carrie couldn't get her therapy, remember?
Yeah.
Because they didn't have an HR department?
Exactly, yeah.
So there was no way to get a therapist.
Nope.
There was no... He knows Elton John, who will buy his carbon... he will erase his carbon footprint, but Elton John won't help him find a therapist.
I mean, at that time, he also knew the king or the queen at that time.
The firm denied it.
So apparently they could only find one therapist, and Harry's like, I need it more than you.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Sorority girl, actress, influencer, victim.
And while all of this was playing out on the other side of the world, back in Britain, something was quietly being said that matters far more than anything that happened at the intercontinental Bondi Beach. Harrian.
She's so clueless.
No, she does, because she's, the big takeaway is that she's
the most trolled person in the world.
Which, no, then
stop. She also trolled her husband's family.
Yeah, and her
6-episode series for millions and millions of dollars.
People with real knowledge, not gossip merchants, not anonymous sources, were saying openly that Prince William is finished with his brother. Not on a break, not cooling off, finished.
Harry, in my opinion, should be kept well away from the children and from William and Catherine. He has proved not to just betray his brother, to hurt his brother. To me, I think he's proved that he's almost unstable with his hatred.
And the next step being discussed. Harry barred from William's coronation. Not invited, not welcomed, not present. His own brother's crowning moment. And Harry watches it from a television in Montecito.
Prince William is done with him. He is done with him. I don't think there's any coming back. When you think about how Prince William has always been, he's always had a tight circle of friends. And it's always been a known thing with Prince William. If you betray him, you're out. That's it. It's done.
Think about that. These two boys walked behind their mother's coffin together. They stood side by side at their grandmother's funeral. And now one of them may need to formally instruct security to keep the other one away from his children.
Is William at the stage now where you could say that he genuinely, and I don't know whether this is too strong a word, but hates his brother?
I don't think it's too strong a word.
That's something much sadder and much more permanent.
Prince William has absolutely no intention of his younger brother being at that event. And that would be a seismic moment, Tash, because that would be saying, it's done. It's over. Forever.
47 people after the Netflix deals, after the Oprah interview, after the book, after the documentaries, after 6 years of keeping the world talking about them, after all of it.
That restraining order will be absolutely necessary. His security and his police protection will be told that man stays away from my family and my children.
47 people in a half-empty hotel ballroom with untouched glasses at the back tables. A sunbather who couldn't be bothered to look up. A little girl who pulled her drawing close, and a brother who has apparently seen enough.
I think he's proved that he's almost unstable with his hatred and this blame. He seems to have focused. Prince William is the cause of everything. And it's turned into something that I wouldn't blame Prince William if when his father's gone, he actually gets a full restraining order against Harry.
Australia didn't need to protest. They didn't need banners or demonstrations or angry op-eds. They just didn't show up. And in the end, that quiet, that total indifferent, unimpressed quiet, was the most devastating review Harry and Meghan have ever received.
But I'm going to zoom in because Meghan blinking is out of control, and even with the low quality of the video, you can see it for yourself. Here it goes. Look at Meghan blinking. The crazy blinking. She is really upset.
William will not have Harry at the coronation. And actually, finally, an acknowledgement, and I know you feel a bit queasy about this, Tash, and I do understand there is a big debate about it, but finally, an acknowledgement from the mainstream media too, that at some point we are going to have to deal with this because Charles's health is really not good. That's why we're gonna have the restraining order. We don't want you and your constant dramas and your constant messy revenge moves anywhere near our British royal family.
Because you can argue with criticism, you can dismiss hatred, you can spin bad press, but you cannot spin an empty room. If this video hit different, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and tell me below what was the single moment from this Australia trip that got you most. I'm reading every comment.